Hello, everybody, and welcome back to 31 Days of Halloween on the Calvin Camp Podcast, the podcast where we talk about everything spooky and chilling. I'm Calvin.
And I'm Anthony, and today we're talking about X and Pearl, so let's get into it.
Okay, everybody, we are back again. Today is day 25. Yes, we are almost done.
25.
25, and that's, oh, man, really awesome. So today we got a little bit of an extra long episode. I mean, not going to be that much longer, but we're talking about two movies today instead of one.
Two people, too.
So today's episode is about X by Ty West and Pearl.
Also by Ty West.
Also by Ty West. And these are really awesome movies, and we think that they deserve to be on this list, and they definitely deserve to be watched this Halloween or every Halloween.
Yeah, and we wanted to mention these because these are kind of newcomers on the block from A24.
Yeah. During our series of Halloween episodes, we've been kind of, trying to get a good mixture between really old movies from the 70s, 80s, all the way up to current times. There's a lot, obviously horror really is heavy back in the day versus now. There's like not so many that are just like very, very, very important, I guess, to us individuals, I'd say. So we definitely love the classics more than we love modern ones. However, there's a lot of modern horror that's up and coming, and this series specifically is one of those modern upcoming horror movies. Like, these are really well done, so I definitely think that they deserve to be on this list. So before we get into today's episode, I just want to remind everybody, please, if you haven't already, follow us on our socials, Instagram and Twitter. We try to communicate with the community as often as possible, and we love feedback and love comments and stuff, as well as go over to YouTube, hit that like and subscribe down there, and we would love, to see our platform grow.
Yeah, and we like to reach out to you guys in the comments too, because it really helps us too with any feedback.
And you can also go over to Patreon. We have a Patreon. It is awesome. We have a lot of extra perks that come with Patreon. We have 3 different tiers. You can join one of those tiers and really, really support us, and we would be much appreciative of it. So, yes, it's really, really good. And that being said, let's get into today's episode. So, let's start with the film that started it all, X. X is a 2022 American slasher film written, directed, produced, and edited by Ty West. It stars Mia Goth in dual roles as a young woman named Maxine and an elderly woman named Pearl. The film also stars Jenna Ortega, Martin Henderson, Brittany Snow, Owen Campbell, Stephen Ure, and Kid Cudi. So, appearing in supporting roles, the film follows a cast and crew who gather to make a pornographic film on an elderly couple's rural Texas property, but find themselves threatened by an homicidal couple. That's saying it lightly, because this movie goes hard.
Yes, it does.
This is one of the greatest modern horror films, I'd say, and it definitely will catch you by surprise. I was shocked at a lot of the scenes in this movie, and the kills specifically are really brutal.
Yeah, I thought the kills were awesome. When Pearl, I should say Pearl, since it is Pearl. Pearl executes the guy in the barn through, the spy hole
with the pitchfork.
And what's his name? RJ, I think RJ's the character.
Yeah.
She just wants affection, and he comes up to Pearl to see, are you all right? And then Pearl just says, nah, I'm just gonna shank you in the neck. Yep. And then he falls to the ground. And she continues to shank him over and over and over.
It's a really brutal and crazy scene, because as one would approach an elderly woman, like just kind of wandering at night, he's just like, you need help? Like, Like, let's get you inside, your house and whatnot. And she starts dancing with him weirdly. And he's like, okay. Now, I've worked at a nursing home before, or not a nursing home, but a retirement home. And like old people are wild. So like they'll just come up and dance with you for no reason. That is 100% a true fact. And, but it's just crazy because she's just like, she goes in to like give him a little smooch, little pecks on the cheek there. And then all of a sudden, she just fucking ends his life. So
yeah, it was pretty gruesome because you didn't know what to expect. It was kind of like there's a suspense building, even though they were shooting the movie before this happens.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was a shocking kill, like in the very beginning. Like I wasn't expecting that to happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of great use of a lot of props and stuff. There's like I said, he killed, or like Anthony said, she kills a guy with a pitchfork through like an eye hole in the barn door, which is awesome. There's a ton of great kills. Kid Cudi cracks me up in this film because he's the main star of the pornographic movie that they're filming, and it's just like it's so funny and so like not I'd say stereotypical to like the time period, because it's it takes place in the 70s,
1979.
Yeah, so it takes place in the 70s, and like it's just funny because when the farmer guy, what's his name, Howard, goes in the dark over to the cabin that the crew is staying in, and he is looking for his wife because Pearl's missing at this point. And then Kid Cudi answers the door naked, and it's just hilarious to me, like, because he just answers full spread naked, just like, okay, I'll come help you. I was a Marine, pretty much. And then he goes out to look for them. Obviously, Howard's like on a different kind of mission here, and he ends up killing him. So
with the shotgun.
Yeah,
it's like I served too, and he's seen some pretty bad shit, probably more than he's ever seen.
Seriously. So. And there's other deaths, like pretty much everybody dies in this movie except for Mia Goth.
Yeah.
So I think that this movie's awesome. I think that it does a really good job at being suspenseful. I think the pacing is really well done. It starts off and it hooks you kind of at the beginning. This movie was heavily inspired by the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So,
I can see elements of that too.
So it's really cool. And another thing that I really liked about this movie is a lot of the cinematography is very, very beautifully done. And I think Ty West's directing is perfect for this kind of film. Ty West is a great new coming, or he's been around, director, and I think that he did a really great job with this. And A24 obviously is one of the best production companies there is. So
yeah, I thought the cinematography was brilliant too. Like I said, even when when she stabs him with the pitchfork, you have that transition scene. I think Jenna Ortega's upstairs and she's like turning on the light, and when she turns it on, it pans back to her taking it out. That was really cool. Like RJ in the shower, like an over the head top shot of him, just the shots of like the marsh where the crocodile is.
Yeah.
Just so well done.
Yeah, and really good. I think it has a really good conclusion as well. I think that it ends like perfectly. It ends where the film begins, with the police, on the property.
Yeah, and throughout the movie, you see the televangelist like on the TV too. I forgot about that. And there's shots of the
sinners.
Of the TV. Yeah.
Don't have sex, people. I think that this movie's just so well done. It's really great. Really clear cut plot that works so well. Easy to follow. And I think that it delivered probably one of the greatest sequels. So I think that we will dive into Pearl now. Pearl is awesome. It's the sequel, or I should say prequel to X. Also stars Mia Goth as young Pearl this time. So she played the elderly woman Pearl in X. But now in Pearl, to give you a little rundown, Pearl is a 2022, came out in the same year, American slasher film directed by Ty West, co-written by West, and Mia Goth also wrote this, who reprises her role as the title character and featuring David Cornsweet, Tandy Wright, Matthew Sunderland, and Emma Jenkins Puro in supporting roles. It is a prequel to X, and it just kind of shows the, beginning of Pearl.
Yeah, it shows her journey, her story of who she is.
The film takes place in 1918, and obviously you could see what's going on in the world. There's the war happening.
The Spanish flu.
The Spanish flu, just like a whole bunch of stuff. And you can see the deterioration of Pearl's mind, like throughout this movie with her upbringing. Just like there's something mentally wrong with her, and she enjoys killing like little animals, and it eventually, progresses and evolves into her killing people.
Yeah, she starts off with the goose. She said, "What are you doing in here?" The little goose. I can't remember the name of the goose. But
yeah,
she kills it and then feeds it to the crocodile.
Yep, a lot of croc feeding in this one.
Yeah.
No, I think that she does she does a better job in this role than she did as Maxine and Pearl in the original X. I think this was a great performance by her. One of the best performances that I've seen in recent years. So
yeah, I thought her performance was great. She put together something original with this film. I thought her acting was good. Her portrayal of this sociopathic character was just amazing, especially in the last scene with Nitsi, when Nitsi says, "Tell me how you feel," and she literally tells her basically how she feels.
There's like a 5-minute monologue.
Yeah,
like it's so good. It's so well done. Like that's a lot of line to remember.
Yeah.
So. She did a great job. I just, one of the coolest parts about this movie is that you like root for her in a weird way. You're following her story and you're caring about her and you want her to succeed, but then you also know how fucked up she is. Like,
well, only that, and she gets oppressed by her mother the whole time. There's a scene with the dinner table. She's like, "You're not going to amount to anything."
Yeah.
And all those things. It's kind of depressing.
It is depressing, but then, obviously she turns fucking psycho.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I mean by like, you feel bad for this character. You really want her to succeed with what her dreams are. However, at the same time, there's obviously something off about her. So you're like, yeah, as much as I feel bad, I also like,
yeah.
So but yeah, it's also really well done though. Cinematography it's just as good. Great directing again, Ty West, and I think that the supporting cast did a really good job in this movie.
On the cinematography, I definitely do agree with you. I love that the sets are kind of the same. You in X, you see the decaying side of the farm, and then you see the vibrant. This film is very vibrant.
Yes.
And you also get the nods to, the alligator and all those other things in this film as well as in X. And I thought that was brilliantly done. The cinematography was great in this movie as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of nods to X in this movie. A lot of the kills in this movie are also nods to X. The pitchfork, like she used it. Same pitchfork that she uses to kill him later, the guy later in X. And just a ton. Obviously we talked about, you see the alligator more, and it's so messed up. Like,
yeah,
it's such a messed up movie.
It's an interesting approach to horror, and it's got lots of psychological messages and stuff in there too. I mean, even I think that Pearl's attire kind of looks like she kind of looks like Lizzie Borden.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I just a message with the axe at the end. I kind of like said, "Is this Lizzie Borden?"
Yeah, so she again, Mia Goth, like wonderful performance by her. And those ending credits, I want to say, like, where she just is staring at the at the camera, just like Howard, like, and just like cheesing, and it's like, whoa, like how long is she gonna stare at this camera?
Yeah,
for?
and have that emotion like when Howard comes home and sees the pig, on the table, and her mother and father there, and they're both just sitting there. They're dead, and she just tries to greet him. I'm happy to see you, honey.
Howard's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was a pretty intense scene. I do like how both films were shot. I like the whole homage to like the 35 millimeter, and just the way it's shot when they shoot the porno flick. Just how the cinematography of the film reel and stuff.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool. And then just the nod to since Pearl is basically taking place in the past.
Yeah,
it's kind of shot like an old picture, like from the 20s.
It is. It's
with the credits,
a lot of still shots.
With the credits, the still shots, but obviously, it wasn't in black and white until we got Technicolor and stuff and all that stuff. But it is in color, so it's just like it pays. Ty West kind of put nods to that the way it looks.
I
looks
also
awesome.
like that the more crazy she gets, the more colorful the film gets.
I noticed that too. That is cool.
It's really cool. Just kind of like, but yeah, like these two movies, great. I cannot wait to see the third one, because this is a part of a trilogy, and the third movie is called Maxine, Maxxxine, and so it also will star Mia Goth and follow her character from X, because it is a sequel to X and not a prequel. So we're going forward in time. Maxine has a short trailer out, not a whole lot on it, but the cast for this movie is awesome. And I have the cast here. I'm just going to read it off to you. So we have Mia Goth, but joining this cast is Halsey, who is one of the most talented new singers. She's awesome. Elizabeth Debicki, Moses Sumney, Lily Collins, Michelle Monaghan. So she's a very famous actress. Kevin Bacon.
Awesome. Oh, wow.
So
nice.
Kevin Bacon's awesome. Giancarlo Esposito, who is amazing. Bobby Cannavale, Zachary Morin, Cecilia Kim. I'm sorry.
He's bad with names.
I am terrible with names.
He's working on it though. I'm bad with names too.
I'm gonna get better in time. So, but yeah, stacked cast.
Yeah,
really, really great. Really high end actors, and I just can't wait to see what kind of story going forward in this franchise will bring. I don't, Pearl and Howard are dead.
Yeah.
So,
well, you have the end. Spoiler warning.
Well, we've already talked about it.
We get a nod to the TV, the televangelist. So the televangelist, his daughter is Maxine. So So is it going to have him in it? So
maybe it'll be a whole nother like twist. I don't know. Who knows? Oh man, I'm excited though. So yeah, let's do our reviews.
Yeah. What would you rate these two movies?
X, I think that X is a solid 4 out of 5. I think Pearl is better. I think Pearl is a 4.5 out of 5. So that's what I would say. They both equally have amazing cinematography, sound design, and score. The acting, I think that it is really, really great, especially when it's carried by Mia Goth, like in her scenes, especially. And pacing is good and it's entertaining. It's hooked, like it hooks you. Both films. I just think that where Pearl shines is a lot of I feel like Ty West, like, he got to try things out with X, and then he got to perfect things with Pearl.
Yeah.
So I just think that a lot of the kills were great. The origin stories of this character was portrayed really well. And watching her mental state just break, I think that it worked really well. I think the story is a little bit better. So, as to the original, is just more of like a slasher film.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that this is 4 out of 5 for X, 4.5 out of 5 for Pearl.
Okay.
What'd you do?
I will give X probably a 4, just like you. Great cinematography, just great sound, great suspense with the kills. The cinematography portrays those kills really well. The story is good too. So that's what I would give X. But Pearl, I have to give Pearl like 5 stars.
Nice.
I thought Pearl was amazing. Like you said, Ty West definitely improved the story of Pearl. Just the acting for Mia Goth is just sensational. I mean, that's what makes this movie great. Just the cinematography, obviously, Ty West killed it just like he did in this previous film, X. That was good too. And yeah, her character is just so explained in this movie and psychologically, and that makes me give this film 5 stars because the acting is just the best in this movie. I thought she portrayed it really well.
All right, cool. And so that leads us into the last part of our episode, which is fun facts.
And Calvin will kick us off because I have none at the moment.
It's fine. Okay, fun facts. Here we go. The day after X, South by Southwest premiere, writer-director Ty West revealed that during a mandatory 2-week COVID-19 quarantine in his New Zealand hotel before production could begin on this film, he wrote a prequel, Pearl. A24 saw the script and greenlit the movie even before production on X had wrapped.
Wow.
So he asked star Mia Goth if she wished to remain in New Zealand and film Pearl, and she readily accepted. The prequel released later in the same year.
Obviously, you could see that it was already post-production on X, and he was already fleshing out the character with the story and script. So they read it and like, yep, we're going for it. We like it.
Okay, so the title of the films refers to the X rating used by the MPAA from 1968 to 1990, which indicated that a film was only suitable for an audience age 16 or older. The idea behind the rating was that, unlike the other certificates, X would not be trademarked and would allow filmmakers to release their film in theaters without needing to submit it to the MPAA for an age certificate. Notable films that were originally released with an X rating include A Clockwork Orange, Fritz the Cat, Last Tango in Paris, Midnight Cowboy. In the 70s, the porn industry would end up exploiting the X rating's lack of trademark by releasing pornos in theaters with the same rating. Eventually, X became a more associated with porn, and more theaters started refusing to show films with an X rating, forcing non-pornographic films to be censored to receiving an R rating. In 1990, the MPAA discontinued the X rating and replaced it with NC-17. Unlike X, NC-17 was trademarked and could not be self-applied, but it still meant that most theaters would not show films with the rating, resulting in censorship once again. So that is why the film is called X.
Yeah, that's an interesting fact and a good one, though. Good explanation with that fact.
The name of the gas station and mini mart at the beginning of the film is direct reference to Ty West's movie The Innkeepers in 2011, which was set at the Yankee Peddler Inn.
I thought X was his first film.
No, he's done The Innkeepers, and I think it was House of the Devil or something like that. This was Brittany Snow's first nude scene. Supposedly, this takes place entirely in Texas, but was actually filmed entirely in New Zealand. The man found in the basement is also seen in Missing Persons ad on the milk carton when Jackson takes a sip.
Oh, good Easter egg. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing that, but I didn't make that connection.
When filming the scene of her iconic scream in the basement, Jenna Ortega was hung over after going on a bar crawl the night before with castmate Kid Cudi. Let's jump over to some fun facts for Pearl. Okay, fun facts for Pearl. Pearl's alligator is named Theda after Theda Bara, who was an American silent film actress and one of the cinema's earliest sex symbols. Viewers may notice a poster of Theda Bara is displayed on the exterior of the picture house that Pearl regularly frequents. To prepare for the tone of this movie, director-co-writer Ty West suggested that Mia Goth watch Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and The Wizard of Oz.
Nice.
You could definitely see the inspiration in her character from those movies.
Yes.
Secretly filmed simultaneously with X, Pearl serves as that film's prequel, showing the title character's early life in 1918. Pearl's climactic monologue goes for 7 minutes, 57 seconds, consists of 17 shots, and the last shot goes for 5 minutes and 36 seconds.
Which is her scene with Nitzy, right?
Yeah, that's freaking wild.
Yeah, we were talking about that too.
Like, imagine staring at that. I mean, obviously, I'm looking at my phone, so you can't see my beautiful eyes. We'll fix that in the future. Hint, hint. But that's a long time to stare at the camera and act, or like even to just like do any sort of monologue. That's like insane. Pearl's dress and bike resemble that of Miss Almira Gulch in The Wizard of Oz when she sneaks out to the movie house for the first time. Okay. And due to various bootleg clips of the film surfacing online, A24 had taken it upon themselves to simply post their short clips on their TikTok account. Most notably, Pearl's argument with the projectionist and Pearl wailing, "I'm a star," upon rejection at her audition. All right.
That one's a cool one.
And that is all we have for you today. Thank you all for sitting through this one. I know that it was a little bit longer than the other ones, but you know,
it was a double feature. Ty West.
It's a double feature. So, thank you all so much. We really appreciate you listening to our podcast, and you know, we're gonna start doing a lot more things once 31 days of Halloween is over. So
we're gonna go back to our normal schedule, and we'll have.
I can't
more
wait
content for you.
I can't wait to talk about games. I can't wait to talk about other movies. I'm going stir crazy like Pearl. No, okay. So thanks. We'll catch you next time.
See you guys on the next one.
Thank you all so much for watching the Calvin Cam podcast. You can find us on any social media platforms like Instagram or Twitter. Go check our podcast out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Amazon Music. We also have YouTube channel, the Calvin Cam. Go over there, hit that like and subscribe button, and follow us there. As well as you can now really support us on Patreon.com. it's probably the best place to support us. So you could go there, join one of our 3 tiers, and help us get bigger and better, and we will appreciate you every step of the way. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a good night.